MudRFunR here. So some time ago we put a new floor in the one hallway and dining room, and we ended up with a lot of cut off pieces because it was mostly in a hallway. So I need to make some new grow beds, and I think this is going to work just fine. This is actually 12 mil flooring, so pretty solid. So it was a couple of years ago I made this bin right there, and that works really great. I've got some radishes growing in there from last year. They're still there because I put that glass over top all winter and they survived. And another thing that I had done along my patio all the way along, these planters are only 3.5 inches deep at this end, and I think they're 5.5 deep at that end. Originally I built them so that I could lay a piece of glass flat on top like that. I had these glass pieces laying around, and I built those beds according to the size of the glass, and that was for doing starter seeds early in the spring. Cover them in glass, and it worked really well, but they're starting to rot away, and it's time for something new. Aren't those beautiful? Last year's. Wow. I'll count up what I got and see if I have enough pieces to build the beds that I wanted. So this would be day 2. I gathered up some more supplies yesterday over there. But what I've done is I've laid out my piles. Those are 2 feet, those are the ends, those are 3 feet, and those are the sides. There's 8 piles each, and I wanted to make a smooth surface on the top. So I want to cut this little ridge off of all of them so they'll look like this one, nice and flat on top. And so I've got all these test fitted. So I've got some construction adhesive right here, and I wouldn't be bothering with this stuff, but it's material that I've had on hand, and I'm not one to waste things, so this is cheap, free wood for me. There, that one's done. And I'm grabbing one of the pieces where I cut the top off. And that will be one end right there. Once it's screwed into place, that glue out of hold. I'm going to keep putting the other ends together, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I didn't want to bore anybody with the details, but got 3 grow beds over there and one over here. It's laying upside down, and what I did was I used 2x2s in the corner right there, and seeing that those are all in pieces, I used a lot of screws, 2 screws on each one, each side. So right there we added a 2x4, put a bunch of screws through on each side, and put this brace across the bottom. So now you'll notice that my brace is going to be lower than what the actual box is, A little bit wobbly, you say? Well, you'll note there's no bottom on this, and that 2x4 is going to get buried into the ground just far enough so that this tubing right here is going to be able to lay flat in the bottom for my drain. So this is actually tubing for a sump pump, and I'm going to have to drill some holes through it, and I'm going to use this end right here with the plastic fitting on it. I'm going to use that to come through the side of my board here, and I already took my pencil and outlined it right here, drilled the pilot hole, and I need an 1 3/4 inch drill bit. So, according to how I've got this figured, this should work. Got this going through here. So I'm about ready for the plastic. This is my rough cut piece here. So I've got this corner all tucked into place down, and that's about as much overlap as I'm going to need here. And just going to throw a few staples in it, not on the side but just on the top. Let's just hold that into place. I've just folded the plastic up into the corners. You don't want to cut this anywhere because then your whole drainage system isn't going to work. So it's back to these grow beds again today. That tangled mess that you see down there, I had everything nicely tie wrapped and everything, and I laid it into the bottom of the box that I've got outside right now, and I can't figure that jumbled mess out now. Everything twisted and turned back to its normal shape, and so I'm going to get smarter on the next one. What I got here is an old hammer handle, a broken one, and it just happens to fit very nicely in to this hose here, nice and snug so it can't even turn. I pushed it on there kind of tight, and I laid it out across my messy floor here, and it's laid across all the way onto that engine. I've been drilling the holes out the way I wanted to. On this first section here, I was just randomly drilling holes. I used something like a 3/16 bit or something a little bit smaller, I think. And that was taking forever, so what I did here, I did it a little bit smarter. I basically drilled from the top down, and it went all the way through the other side and into the cardboard, and then I went back to that end over there, and I gave it a little bit of a twist so that it turned about a 1/4 turn, and then I could go all the way along through there again. So half of this is done, and I don't want to do the other halfway back in that corner over there. It's going to be a little bit too difficult to do. Okay, so this is the last section to go. It's an easy one because it's flat on the ground on the cardboard. This one here, once I release it from everything, seems good, all stretched out. Look at that, no tangled mess. Wow. See, you've got a ton of rain already, so this is full of water. And give you a good chance to test out the drain to see exactly how much water it's going to let out. So I just need to cut through the plastic there so that I can push the fitting through. It's going to pour out now. See how much water stays in there. Now the idea is this is supposed to come up to here. Possibly about to there. I'm going to get some peat moss and start throwing it on top. See how this works out. So this drain pipe is all the way led around and wound around back and forth through here. I was having a bit of a struggle keeping the drain hose down, and my wife come along and says, well, why don't you put something on top of there to hold it down? Look at that. Those bricks actually work. Now I didn't like the way the drain was working. I've got actually the drain too low, so I found this cap probably off of a, who knows, transmission fluid or something, and drilled a hole on the one side there. Hopefully that'll go on top. So you can see it's still trying to drain out of here, and that's just a little too much, so let's see how this is going to work. That actually screws on there pretty good. Still leaking out the bottom. Along with a little bit of extra effort, we got it to sit near the top there, and that peat moss looks too dry, and I'm going to fill this up with water and see how much water that peat moss is actually going to saturate before it comes out the drain. There, now it's starting to come out the top of the drain right there. This stuff is floating right now, by the looks of it. So I've got some chipped wood here and a little bit of dirt mix, whatever. Came from our old poplar trees. Just the wood chips. We'll try and weigh that down a bit. I sprayed some water from the top just to saturate all that in water and see exactly how much is going to come back out of the drain. Looks like quite a bit coming out right now. So the way this whole project has gone so far, you probably noticed I'm trying to use up every little bit and piece of stuff that I have laying around. It's an old air mattress. And if anybody has ever taken one of these apart, it's not just a matter of cutting around the outside and getting one shell off. You have reinforcements in there that have to be cut out as well. It's a neat little pair of scissors. Works great. Here we go. Perfect liner. Like it. So this is number 2, and this hole is about 1 1/8 from the bottom, and the other one that I did, this hole was less than 1/2 inch from the bottom, so hopefully this one will drain less than what that one does. So I've got that 2x4 bracing that we have at the bottom. Got it all sunk in, put into place where it belongs. And I did the same with this. 15 high here, 15 high here is 30. Another 24 across is 54. And add about 3 inches for overhang on each one. So, and then ended up being 60 this way and 72 this way. And that mattress is exactly almost that size. Almost exactly. Okay, this is a little bit more stubborn than the plastic, but I got these 2 corners tucked in where they should be. Okay, so I got my drain hose here. Pushing this on is a very snug fit, so I'm not even going to clamp it because it's not going anywhere. Couldn't get any more perfect than that. I like it. So I've got the zigzag started in there. So I will continue here where I left off. Now I just need some more of that icky looking stuff right there. And that'll hold it all down. My wife says the peat moss should be soaked down before using it, so a lot of times she's right. Look good to you? Looks good to me. Alright, I'm gonna clean out the wheelbarrow and have a look. Should be enough, I think. I've had this water running on here for some time now already, and it still hasn't been coming out of the drain hole. And it's not saturating anything yet either. Okay, some stuff is starting to come out of the drain hole now. Still looks like it could use more water. Yep, the next one's going to have to go a little higher yet. So I actually thought I wasn't going to have enough plastic to do all 4 of them, but turns out this being a double mattress has a nice liner in it. I was about to cut off my last one here and I thought I'd share this with you. This is the bottom mattress. There's the ribs here, and this white part is a center liner between the 2 mattresses. Just all these ribs holding it together. So now instead of having just the one piece for the 3rd bin, I have the 3rd and the 4th pieces right there. So we've been really busy for the last few days, and we've come a long way on these beds. So this is what the boxes look like now, the ones I just built. And the deck needs a good paint job as well, so we're going to spruce this up a little bit more. Anyway, that is how the grow beds turned out. Got some peas planted right in there already, all the way in there. Going to plant some lettuce, I believe, in there, or some salad mix or something. That's my little greenhouse that I made. I took the windows off, and we're just going to use it as a grow bed. And this is the latest one that I just built, right here. That was a quick slap together one. Just lined it with some plastic and put some slots in the bottom so that it could drain. And tomatoes in the buckets right there. All these other buckets are potatoes. One sweet potato right there, the rest are mostly red. Got a few white on the end. And got drain holes in those buckets as well. Kind of something like what I did on here. Still got one bucket left. So there's this fill tube. I need to put a little bracket on there to hold these in place. This one here is kind of goes wherever it wants, but it belongs in this corner. Right there. And that one right there. And those are all fill tubes. These got sprinkled from the top a little bit because we just finished seeding the peas. But those drain holes, I was experimenting, so from this end, this was the highest. I started over there and I tested every drain as I went, and each one I went just a little bit higher with the drain hole to see what was going to work the best. And that was a oopsie. That hole was supposed to be over there. All better now. So yeah, these ones, the drain was way too low, so I had to put a cap on it with a hole. Same with this one. And these first two beds, I've filled them 3 times now. And these two over here, I've only filled them twice. But if you put your finger in the soil, it's pretty moist already, and it doesn't have to go that far down. So I think this is going to be a good watering system. Hope there's nothing planted in there. Oops. And this piece of glass is quite dirty, but I still managed to keep them the right size so that those pieces of glass would basically fit on there. A little bit of gaps in the sides there for some air to get in. And I can cover them up with glass if things look like they're going to get cold out. Can't so much do that on that one. But so that is the whole setup that we have right now, and we've got more coming up.